Does it feel like the woman you've been married to for 20 years has suddenly been replaced by a stranger? Maybe you try to help, but everything you say or do seems to make it worse. Maybe you are starting to wonder if she's just falling out of love with you. Here's the truth. You're not crazy. No, you're not. And neither is she. But the relationship rulebook you've been using for your entire marriage has just expired because her body and brain are rewriting the rules and nobody gave you the new copy. Today, I am going to act as your translator and we are going to kick off the Menopause Manual for Husbands series. Yes, because nobody gave you an instruction book for this. I'm writing you one. To start the series, I am going to break down the 3 biggest things husbands misunderstand about menopause so that you can stop walking on eggshells and start connecting again. Hi, I'm Tina, deep into perimenopause and the author of the book, The Expert Guide to Menopause and Marriage. Welcome to this channel, Menopause and Marriage. My goal is quite simple: to help couples navigate the emotional and hormonal storms of midlife without sinking the ship. If you want to understand what is actually happening inside your partner's body and how it affects your marriage, you are in the right place. First thing husbands get wrong is interpreting distance as rejection. You might, for example, reach out or try to be intimate, which is normal, and she pulls away. Your brain might say to you, oh, she's not attracted to me anymore. But here is a translation. It's likely sensory overload. This isn't just her being moody, because research shows us that during perimenopause, the brain ability to filter out background noise and sensory input actually drops. So her nervous system is literally taking too much data. Can you imagine? So when she steps away and it's not rejection. She's not rejecting you. She's trying to stop her brain from short-circuiting. Actually, there is another crucial point that we need to add to this one. I don't want to be too heavy, but the science actually teaches us something else. It teaches us that estrogen drives blood flow and collagen production, right? When that goes away as a result of estrogen plumbing, the skin doesn't just look different, it feels different. It becomes thinner, drier, and more sensitive to pain, yes. So when you touch her and she flinches, or say it feels scratchy or uncomfortable, she's not making it up. No, she isn't. Because her defense against oxidative stress is down and her sensitivity is well up. So, husband, partners, gentlemen, I'm sure you understand that a touch that used to feel loving might now feel like too much input to her nervous system or too much input to a nervous system that is already redlining. The fix? Don't take it personally. Don't assume your marriage is broken down. No. Instead of thinking she doesn't love you anymore, just ask a simple question. Do you need space or do you need comfort? Let's define the distance. We have 2 more critical points to cover, including one that causes the most fights. Quickly, if this translation helped you see your marriage or your relationship differently, please hit the subscribe button. We are building a community of couples here who want to thrive, not just survive, and I would love you to join us. Mistake number 2 is thinking her anger is a reflection of your relationship. Husband often tell me something. She goes from 0 to 100 over nothing. Oh, she hates me. I got you there. But here is the biology. Let's go back to science again. When estrogen crashes, the connection between the emotional center of the brain, or the amygdala, that are called the fire alarm, and the logical center of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, or the wise owl, that connection weakens. Actually, it's called the amygdala hijack. She literally, because of that break in connection, literally loses the split-second buffer that uses to stop her from snapping. So it's not a personality flaw. Consider this as a temporary wiring issue. Just to reiterate, She has literally lost her biological buffer against stress. That rage is often just as scary for her as it is for you. She doesn't want to be angry. She doesn't want to give you silent treatment. She just has fewer breaks than she used to. We are going to have a whole separate video on her silence as soon as next week, because this is a huge topic. But for today, I want you to remember something. Her silence isn't rejection, it is exhaustion. The fix: when the storms hit, don't fight back, don't retreat, just stay steady. Be the lighthouse, not the storm. The final mistake is the classic husband trap. Fixing it, trying to fix it. She tells you, for example, oh, I'm exhausted, I'm sad, I'm hot. And what do? You run for solutions. Yes, there is nothing wrong with that. It's not your fault. Why don't you take a nap? Why don't you try this vitamin? Why don't you go for that supplement? Why don't you change your diet? Why don't you? For you, that's love. But for her, right now, it feels like you're dismissing her pain. There is actually a psychological term for this mismatch: instrumental grieving versus intuitive grieving, because men often are wired to fix instrumental, whilst women, they process their feeling through intuition. They are more intuitive. When you try fixing her intuitive process, science tells us it actually backfires, because it increases her cortisol level, which is a stress hormone. You don't want more stress. So you're not actually helping. You are chemically stressing her out. So she doesn't need a mechanic. She needs an anchor. I'm sure you understand that. She needs to know that you can handle her chaos without trying to solve it. Now, the fix? Next time she vents, try saying something like, oh, that sounds incredibly hard, but remember, I'm here. That's it. Empathy. And watch what happens. Menopause is a journey of two. It's not just happening to her, it's happening to us. If you can shift your perspective from fixing her to understanding her, you won't just save your marriage, you might make it stronger than ever. These were the 3 top mistakes, but we still need to talk about the silence, the intimacy, your burnout. Yes, your burnout. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of this manual. For instance, next week I will be covering in depth the concept of silence trap.